व्रज जन वंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Sunita Mataji. It was a very different tune of Jai Radha Madhav. I never heard. Very nice tune. Thank you. So, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Mataji, Tandas Pranam.
Pranam Prabhu. So we welcome His Grace Gaurchand Gopinath Prabhu, Hari Bol Prabhu.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Please start, Prabhu.
Should I do some more kirtan or?
You can do, Prabhu. But people are joining now.
Yeah.
You can, Prabhu, as you wish.
Or anybody wants to volunteer, I don't mind.
Hari Bol, any Mataji, Prabhuji. 2 minutes kirtan. No one is there.
Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Subhatra Mahi Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Anantade Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Anantade Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Om Shpad Paramahansa Parigvacharya Stotra. Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda ki Vrindara Shrimad Bhagavatam ki Matai Gaur Premanande. Welcome Chandana Mataji, Hamba Mataji, Archana Mataji, Hema Malini Mataji, Radha
Hare Krishna
Mataji,
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Divya Deshai, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Prabhuji.
Dr. Karpalavalli Mataji, Krishnamurti Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Madhumati Mataji, Hare Krishna, Medandas
Hare
Pranam,
Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam.
Mahalakshmi Mataji mi, Hare Krishna, Chandrika Narsimha, Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, Rajalakshmi Mataji, Ramya Krishna Mataji, Sharmila Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavats to all of you. If I
Hare
missed
Krishna
Hare
anyone,
Krishna
Prabhuji Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
to all of you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
How are you all doing today? Suma Manoj Mataji, Sunita Mataji, Jiksha Sharma. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Shobha Mataji, Hare Krishna. Rasa Ragini Radhika Mataji, Hare Krishna. So how are you all doing today?
Hare Krishna
Doing well
Prabhuji.
so far,
Very
Prabhuji,
good
by the
Prabhuji.
grace of Sri Krishna.
Okay.
All doing good, Prabhuji.
Okay. We will start with the today's shloka. I think I've been given 3, 8, 10 to 15. So what we'll do is we will quickly read the end, all the 4 shlokas. I need volunteers, maybe 4 or 5 volunteers. They can just read one shloka. 5 shlokas are there, 5 volunteers. They can just read shloka translation and purport. Then we will pick a theme, any theme what you want, because I am also not prepared today. So you can ask any theme. We can look at those themes, or if you have any questions, you can look at that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narostamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistake Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Any volunteer want to read 3, 8, 10?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. May I?
Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna. Udaplutam Vishwamidam Tadasit Yannidrayami Litadrinyamilayat Ahindratalpe Dhishayaneka Kritakshana Swatmaratau Nirihaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Right.
At the time when the 3 worlds were submerged in water, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu was alone lying on his bedstead. The great snake Ananta, and although he appeared to be in slumber in his own internal potency, free from the action of the external energy, his eyes were not completely closed. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Shall I read a purport also?
Please.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord is eternally enjoying transcendental bliss by his internal potency. whereas the external potency is suspended during the time of the dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Next volunteer, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Sonta Sharire Arpita Bhuta Sukshma Kalatmikam Sattim Udirayana Uvasa Tasmin Salile Padesve Yatana Lodarunirutta Virya. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Just like the strength of fire within pure wood, the Lord remained within the water of dissolution, submerging all the living entities in their subtle bodies. He lay in the self-invigorated energy called Kala. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. After the three worlds, the upper, lower, and middle planetary systems merged into the water of dissolution. The living entities of all the three worlds remain in their subtle bodies by dint of the energy called Kala. In this dissolution, the gross bodies became unmanifest, but the subtle bodies existed, just like the water of the material creation. Thus, the material energy was not completely wound up, as is the case in the full dissolution of the material world. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Can I read 3.8.12?
Yes.
Chaturyuganam sasahasram apsu swapan svayodiri thaya svasakya kalakyaya sadita karmatantro lokanapitan dat stre swadehe. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord lay down for 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas in his internal potency, and by his external energy, he appeared to be sleeping within the water. When the living entities were coming out for further development of their fruitive activities, actuated by the energy called Kala Shakti, he saw his transcendental body as bluish. Should I read the purport, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the Vishnu Purana, Kala Shakti is mentioned as avidya. The symptom of the influence of the Kala Shakti is that one has to work in the material world for fruitive results. The fruitive workers are described in Bhagavad Gita as mudhas or foolish. Such foolish living entities are very enthusiastic to work for some temporary benefits within perpetual bondage. One thinks himself very clever throughout his life if he is able to leave behind a great asset of wealth for his children. And to achieve his temporary benefit, he takes the risk of all sinful activities without knowledge that such activities will keep him perpetually bound by the shackles of material bondage. Due to this polluted mentality and due to material sins, the aggregated combination of living entities appear to be bluish. Such an impetus of activities for fruitive result is made possible by the dictation of external energy of Lord Kala. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, Hari Bol. Thank you.
Sindhu Mataji. Okay, Shanti Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhu. Sapatmakosha sahashodhatishtat kelena karma pratibodhanena swarochishatat salilam vishalam vidyotayan arka ivatmayonihi.
I don't know which sloka study.
I think Mataji once skipped Mataji. 13th sloka.
1-4, no?
Oh, 113.
13.
13 we have to read. 13 we have to
Okay,
read.
13. Okay. Sorry. Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry Prabhu. Sasyartha suksmabhi nivishta drishtar antarghator utarajasa tamyan gunena kalanu kathena vidha susyam
Tadabhidyata Nabhi Deshar. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The subtle subject matter of creation on which the Lord's attention was fixed was agitated by the material mode of passion, and thus the subtle form of creation pierced through his abdomen. Thank you, Prabhu.
Sharmila Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Sapadmakosha sahasodatishtat kalena karma pratibodhanena swarochi satat salilam vishalam vidyotayannarkaivatmayonihi. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Piercing through this sum total form of the fruitive activity of the living entities took the shape of the bud of a lotus flower generated from the personality of Vishnu, and by his supreme will, it illuminated everything like the sun and dried up the vast waters of devastation. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Is it up to 15? Yeah, go ahead.
Divya Gopu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tallokapatmam sayueva Vishnuhu pravivishat sarvagunavabhasam tasmin swayam vedamayo vidhata swayam bhuvam yam smavadanti sobhut. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat pranams.
Yeah, you complete the...
Okay, translation. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Into that universal lotus flower, Lord Vishnu personally entered as a super soul, and when it was thus impregnated with all the modes of material nature, the personality of Vedic wisdom, whom we call the self-born, was generated. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat pranams.
Read the purport as well.
Okay. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This lotus flower is the universal Virat form or the gigantic form of the Lord in the material world. It becomes amalgamated in the personality of Godhead Vishnu in his abdomen at the time of dissolution, and it becomes manifest at the time of creation. This is due to Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, who enters into each of the universes. In this form is the sum total of all the fruitive activities of the living entities conditioned by material nature, and the first of them, namely Brahma, or the controller of the universe, is generated from this lotus flower. This firstborn living being, unlike all the others, has no material father, and thus he is called self-born or Swayambhu. He goes to sleep with Narayana at the time of devastation, and when there is another creation, he is born in this way. From this description, we have the conception of three: the gross Virat form, the subtle Hiranyagarbha, and the material creative force Brahma. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat pranams.
Om Jnana Tirmidantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamagyam Tadati Swapatantikam Vandegam Shri Guru Shri Udapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Cha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravane Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatade Shadarine Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vaishya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Paditana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo, Ram Ramo, Hare Hare, Mukam Karoti Vachalam, Pangam Langayate Grim, Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande, Shri Guru, Dinadarinam Paramananda Madhavam, Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, I welcome once again all of you. Those who I missed to wish them, all of you welcome Hare Krishna. And today we'll be looking at predominantly the topic of creation. So the chapter entitled 3.8 is Manifestation of Brahma from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So you can see from this picture, from Mahavishnu's navel, Brahma is coming out. So the theme for today is that we will discuss about, it talks about a lot of creation, also dissolution as well as partial dissolution. There is a complete dissolution at the end of day of Brahma, and the end of the life of Brahma, there is a complete dissolution also happens. So similarly, the creation also, every day Brahma creates, and end of his lifetime, Garbhodaksha, Vishnu, Mahavishnu, they create the universe. So we will look at what is the difference between these two. Predominantly, it all be again, we'll be talking about creation, but especially we will talk about Garbhodaksha, Vishnu. Then as you progress, you will also hear many other wonderful stories and teachings in this wonderful chapter. This is third canto is very wonderful. Okay, so let me go through Prabhupada purports and ask you a few questions. So our conversation will be based on that as well. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay, I'm going to confuse all of you now. Then I will make you do some homework as usual. Okay? Are you all ready for homework?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Okay. Now, in this first 10 sloka, so it's mentioned that in the translation, Prabhupada mentioning that the three worlds were submerged in the water. Garbhodaksha Vishnu was alone, lying on his bed. The great snake Ananta. Now, this Ananta, who is this Ananta?
Balram, Prabhuji.
Balram.
Okay. So who is there in the bottom?
Expansion of the Lord.
Then who is holding it at the bottom of the universe? What is it?
Sankarshana Prabhu.
Sankarshana. Ananta, Sankarshana. Then, so what tattva is he? What tattva is he?
Vishnu Tattva.
Okay.
Is a Guru Tat Guru.
Guru tattva. Okay. Any other answer? Okay. And I'm telling he's also Jiva tattva. Shocking, right? We will understand that little later. Now, the second part of is that I remember this wonderful story. His Grace Amarendra Prabhu was there 3 days back in our temple. He was giving lecture that he was telling that one time there was one devotee came. He doesn't want to do any seva, but he just still want to join the temple. So he was asking the temple president what seva I can do. He was telling you can cook, arti, book distribution. He said that all I can't do. It's very heavy. Then he said just simply stand. You can show a Krishna book. There's a lot of picture painting is there to all the whoever visitors comes. One day there is one visitor came and he looked at the picture and this devotee was flipping through the pages. Then he saw Vishnu was lying, he was sleeping. And he said, I like this picture, send me this. He asked why. Then he said, see, my boss, I sleep at office. Then he chastised me. See, look at this Vishnu here, he's sleeping, but still he's creating so many universe. So I want to show him how importance of sleeping is important in while working. So he has a different motive. And you can see here, Vishnu, we say it's not a sleep. Prabhupada is consciously putting a word, his eyes were not completely closed. When you sleep, then you completely close. This is called Yoga Nidra. There is a difference between Krishna's Nidra, our Nidra. Our Nidra, we don't know. Somebody calls also, we don't know what's happening. We are completely off. But Vishnu is not really, he was not sleeping, but he was in the slumber of his own internal potency. So Mahavishnu's consort is Rama Devi. Generally, you don't see a picture when you see Mahavishnu. He is alone from pores. All the universes comes out. Every Vishnu Tattva, at least the Purusha Tattvas, they would have the consorts, eternal consorts they will have. So like that, Rama Devi is the consort. And other Lakshmis also expand from Rama Devi. So that is another aspect we can understand from this one. So we will come to this slumber as well as the Ananta Shesha part of it little later. Then I want to quickly go through the other chapter as well, right? So other things as well. So now, so what is the meaning of Kala? What does the Kala does here? Kala Shakti.
It is the end.
Sorry.
Bhagavan,
Complete dissolution, Prabhuji.
Krishna is the Kala.
Krishna is the Kala, okay.
In
What
the
else?
form of Kala at the end of dissolution.
Okay. Is end of the dissolution, Kala comes into end of the dissolution or before that as well? What is the role of Kala?
Right from beginning to ending, Kala is there. It is there. So he is the part and parcel of Mahavishnu.
It is a witness and it keeps recording. It keeps record of everything, Prabhuji, whatever happens.
Through Kala only Pradhana will be into Mahatattva, Prabhuji.
Okay.
The elements will be activated.
Okay.
Prabhuji, the changes takes place, Prabhuji.
Activities
So,
of the jiva.
is there in the spiritual world or not?
Your
Or it's
voice is breaking.
world? Okay, I was asking, is Kala is there in the spiritual world or not?
No, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji. Only
No Kala.
no
No
Kala
Kala.
in spiritual world.
No, Prabhuji.
Spiritual world, we don't have Kala in space.
Okay.
That's why it's eternal now, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, but there are also pastimes when Krishna, when Kala is not there, Krishna is doing Rasapurnima, then he goes in the night, calls the gopis, the day comes, right? So then you mean to say that there is no Kala factor? And Krishna would, they say, oh, yesterday Krishna, went to that forest, he did that Leela, something like that, the gopis would talk, gopas would talk. So then Kala, if he's not there, then how is this pastimes are possible?
Those pastimes are eternally going on, Prabhuji. On and on. Not
Correct.
like
But when you say Kala is not there, morning, evening should not be there, then there should be no night, moon. So do you say
That's
that all
Krishna's desire, Prabhuji. Krishna's desire, he manifests the things.
Those things it's happen in this material world only, Prabhu, not in that spiritual world.
So what does Krishna do in spiritual world then?
So enjoy.
Right. So
Prabhuji,
I'm
all pastimes are happening, but it is according to the Krishna's desire. Like he desires, so things
still you will
manifest.
have a morning, evening or not?
No, that is
So when you say no
self-interest.
Kala, then there should not be no morning, evening. No. Krishna will not go to the morning to herd the cows, and the evening he will not return back. Right? It goes to Govardhan and comes back. So
it happens, Prabhuji.
if there is no sunset, or I mean, if there are no morning and evening, then how Krishna would go for grazing the cows? So if you say morning, evening is there, then Kala is there.
Not like here, Prabhuji, the sun come, we get to see the sun and we get to see the moon at night. It is not like that, Prabhuji. The effulgence itself creates the light there. And Krishna, by his own accord, he may be manifesting like that, Prabhuji. That Leela must be going on like that. Hare Krishna.
Okay, now the next shloka 12. one important striking things which Prabhupada talks about, that the bluish color. Due to the polluted mentality and due to material sense, the aggregated combination of living entities appear to be bluish. So what is that understanding, your understanding on this sentence? What is your understanding on this?
It's poisonous.
It's Krishna's
Prabhu.
color, Prabhuji. It's Krishna's color, Prabhuji, because he says in 15.6 Bhagavad Gita, Natat Bhasayate Suryo, means there is no sun and moon. So it is the effulgence of Krishna's body only, Prabhuji. Bluish.
It's like contaminated that all the things, and it becomes it's a blue color. It's like that one they mentioned.
Okay, I just want to
Space, I think, space.
Okay, space has blue color. Why space has blue color? Why can't be red? Why can't be white? Why can't be orange? Why can't be green?
Reflection of Krishna's color, Prabhuji.
Okay. But Krishna is black, no?
Blackish blue.
Blackish blue.
Okay. So this also we will go through 13. I'll just skip this for 13 right now. I'm going to cover all these topics, don't worry. So then also they talked about the bud of a lotus flower, where the personality of Vishnu is entering and he creates this universe. So 15, let's see if there are any important things Prabhupada talks about. Yes, there are a lot of important things I highlighted. So who is Hiranyagarbha Vishnu? He talks about Hiranyagarbha. Who is Hiranyagarbha?
Garbhodakashaya Vishnu.
Okay, any other answer? Huh? Kshirodakshaya Vishnu.
Yes.
Okay, any other answer? We have only one left. You can give that as. Okay. So what I'll do is I would go through one high-level quick overview of this creation. We would have heard multiple times, multiple places. Then what we'll do is we will read exclusively. I'll focus on Garbhodakshaya Vishnu today, and then you will understand the various Krishna's various. See this Purushas itself. Sometime Hiranyagarbha we call Sagasra Sirisha Purusha Sagasra Path. Your Vishnu which is having thousands of head. So who is referred to which Vishnu? Then sometime the Gunavataras we talked about Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu. So when we say Vishnu, which Vishnu is referred to? Is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, or Mahavishnu? So like that, there are many questions. All those things will be answered in Madhya Leela 20, like that. So we're going to read few verses from that 10 or 20. And further you want to go deep dive, I would recommend strongly to read Laghu Bhagavatam written by Rupa Goswami. That goes in details into all this creation, especially Purusha avatars, if you want to understand. So some of them I've asked a few questions, as invariably something or other will cover. Again, at the end of 10:25, we'll review this again, these shlokas. If there are any questions, then I would try to quickly cover that. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, let me know if you're able to see. So we all know that Krishna is in the Goloka Vrindavan, Vaikuntha Dham is there. Goloka Vrindavan, there is a Vaikuntha Dham. Then we have a Kailash Dham. Then the Brahma Jyoti. After Brahma Jyoti is this material universe, which is called Devi Dham. And also we see that how Krishna expands into various things. He expands into Balram. From Balram, you get this 4 quadruple expansion: Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Sankarshana, and Nirodha. They call Adi Chaturviha. From this Sankarshana, we expand again. Lord Narayana expands. From Narayana, you have this secondary quadruple expansion, which is Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Nirodha. Then from that Sankarshana, second expansion of Sankarshana, then you get this Purusha avatars. And they also represent Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha aspect of this three different types of Vishnus. Then today we are going to focus on this Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who comes out of this Sankarshana, the second quadruple expansion of Sankarshana, and who in turn comes from Lord Narayana, who in turn comes from Sankarshana, and who in turn comes from Balram, and Balram who is in turn comes from Shri Krishna. So this is the tattva which we will be dwelling into more to understand this, how this Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is going to come. So I've asked one question, right? Is Anantasesha is what kind of tattva is he, right? He is both Vishnu tattva as well as Jiva tattva as well. So there are certain living entities who take Shakti Veksha avatar. Some of the Shakti Veksha avatars are direct, can be Vishnu tattvas, or it could be mostly a Jiva tattva is empowered with that Shakti. So here in Prabhupada, I don't know where, I need to check reference, but it is definitely both the tattvas are there. Is Anantasesha is the expansion of both Seva, Swasevana Shakti and is Bhudharana Shakti, especially Anantasesha, who is holding at the bottom of the earth, who is a Jiva Tattva. But the bed, Adisesha, where the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is lying, or the, other paraphernalia, they are all Vishnu Tattvas. But the Sesha who is holding Bhudharana Shakti is empowered in Jiva Shakti to hold this entire earth. So Prabhupada also comes under Bhakti Shakti. He is also Shakti Vaishavatar to provide the holy name of the Lord, and as well as this Bhagavatam he has given it. So day for yesterday I was talking about importance of distributing this entire Bhagavatam. So the Bhakti can will come from the pure Vaishnava. You cannot get Bhakti from anyone else, including Krishna. So you want to, in order to have Bhakti, that's only way to get Bhakti is that you serve the Vaishnavas. If you serve the Vaishnavas or you do the devotion service, chanting as well as reading, hearing Shrimad Bhagavatam attentively, Krishna may be pleased, and Krishna pleased, then he would send the Acharya. When the Acharya is pleased, then he would, when he speaks or when we associate with him or by reading Srila Prabhupada books, Prabhupada says, I'm eternally existing in my books, and you can associate with me by hearing my lectures as well as reading from Shrimad Bhagavatam. So the Bhakti, you will not get it anywhere. You will get it only in Srila Prabhupada books, as the Shakti Vaishavatar has come and delivered this. So if you want to give somebody Bhakti, my preaching especially will not have any impact on you. Otherwise, I've given so many lectures. You all would have become great Vaishnavas, and you would have, become you are already great Vaishnavas, but I'm telling the impact would have been much more because the purity is there with Prabhupada. So when we hear Srila Prabhupada, when we associate with his books, it's much more potent. So we should distribute this Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's where the person gets a bhakti. Otherwise, there is no way he's going to get bhakti. Any other form, he's not going to get bhakti. Unless he is going to associate with this pure Vaishnava like Srila Prabhupada, there's no way bhakti is going to come, because the bhakti comes from only pure Vaishnavas. There's nowhere else the bhakti cannot come. You might read, you might know knowledge, you might accumulate knowledge on bhakti, but you wouldn't get this bhakti. Brahmande Brahmate Kon Bhakyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna, Krishna Guru Paya, Bhakti Ladabija. So the entire universe, there is a very, very fortunate person who goes. So for bhakti, there are two things important. I was hearing to Srila Prabhupada lecture. He says, in order to get bhakti, you need to, one is Krishna, another one is Guru. So Guru Krishna Paya, Bhakti Lada Bija. So you pray to Krishna, then he sends a Guru, then Guru gives the Bhakti Lada Bija. Through bhakti, you go on achieve Krishna. This is the process. So you need Guru as well as Krishna. You can't just hold on Krishna. You can't just hold on Guru. Both are required for us. So that only Prabhupada can give. So it's very important that we understand that. So the previous one, which I've expanded, the same diagram, which explains again 4 quadruple expansion, how this Adi Chaturvyuga, Vasudeva, Mahasankarshana, Pradyumna we have. Then the second quadruple expansion, there are many forms who comes out. Adhojaksha, Purushottama, Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Upendra, Achyuta, they all come from different, the first quadruple expansions. From that second quadruple expansion, we saw Narayana. Then we from Purushavasaras, we are talking about Purushavasaras. Karnadakshaya Vishnu is expansion of Sankarshana. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is expansion of Pradyumna. And Shuradakshaya Vishnu Aniruddha. So So from him, the Garbhodaksha Vishnu is what Brahma comes out, and the Gunavataras also we are talking about here. So this is the diagram which explains the creation. So I will skip this Mahavishnu part. You all know that there is a Pradhan which is having 16 elements. So basically Mahavishnu is from the pores, so many things comes out. Then he looks at this Pradhana, which is having the 16 elements. Then it transforms into Mahatattva. So that Mahatattva to happen, that's because we have seen this little bit in the Brahma Samhita class, which I've covered. So I'll skip this for now. But the important aspect of is, let's look at this little high level, then we will get into the Garbhodaya aspect today, what I want to talk about it. Because this both are interrelated. So we have seen that when Mahavishnu glances, Karnadaksha Vishnu glances over Pradhana, the 16 elements, then it's not in the activated state. The glance is called Shambhu. The 16 elements is the material elements is called, Mother Earth or nature, Parvati, whomever you call it as. This Pradhana is there. So Mahavishnu directly doesn't touch the Maya Devi. So hence he glances through Shambhu. Through glance of Shambhu, the three things comes from Mahavishnu. One is the Kala aspect of it. That's what we're going to discuss. We said Kala is there in the spiritual world or not. I've asked that question, so we will understand in detail. Then he gives the karma aspect of it. Even though the living entities are created now, but eternally they will have this karma aspect of it. It will not go. The subtle body remains. And next time they take, when the creation happens, based on the previous karma, they would take the body of a human, bird, tree, or animals, whatever, depends on the previous karma of the living entity. Then there's this bhava, means the desire. What is that you want to become? You will have a desire. So based on this svabhava and karma, and the living entities are created. So the Mahatattva is the now. This is where Garbhodaksha Vishnu come into picture, which we will see in the next slide. Also, so the Pradhana, it says the Mahavishnu glances the Pradhana, is the material energy. The glance is Shambhu. As soon
Voice is breaking, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhu, we can't hear you.
Just give me a second.
Now it's okay, Prabhu.
No, I'll switch off my video.
Okay.
Am I okay now?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
You are able to still see my screen? Yeah. So I was telling that Mahatattva and the modes of material nature start acting. So the Kala starts acting the mode of goodness and mode of passion. This Mahatattva transforms, and Ahankara, especially the last one, comes is the mode of ignorance. Then you get different parts of the body. So you get the different parts of the body in different angas, different devatas, the mind, 10 senses, the devatas, and intelligence, prana, as well as the 5 gross elements, sense objects. All those things are created because of the modes of material nature, which connects with the Mahatattva. Now, what happens is, as soon as Mahavishnu breathes out like this, then immediately the creation doesn't happen like that. So immediately Garbhodaksha Vishnu, the 23 elements of the Mahatattva is there. Then it will be in the unmixed state. So what happens is, immediately when the glances Mahavishnu happens, then it is by the Maya Shakti. For over 1,000 years of inactivity will be there. The Kala needs to act, the Swabhava of the living entity, karmas of all the living entity. They are in dormant state for 1,000 years approximately, where the Maya Devi works out. So the combined form of all the jiva is called Hiranyagarbha. So when we say Hiranyagarbha Vishnu, it is refers to the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the sum and total of the jivas. That's why he is called Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So all this Mahatattva, when the Mahavishnu glances, as I mentioned, there is a Kala, Karmas, Baba will be act upon it. So over thousands of years, along with Maya Shakti, and then it develops into a living entity. They are ready to come out. That's where their karma is already activated. And now you can see the blue kind of body which Prabhupada talking about in the purport. All the living entities ready to come out of the Vishnu's abdomen. So Vishnu looks at him, he is in the bluish color. So then he expands into Virat Rupa. Then he expands from the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the Brahma comes out. Then Brahma does the recreation. He gives the physical body, gross body, but the living entity already with their combination of modes of material nature act upon it. The time factor, they know what kind of modes they are in nature and what is their likelihood, what they want to become. Based on the things, then Lord would decide what type of body you would get. So all these living entities are ready to come out with subtle body. They will not have a gross element body. In the Visarga part of it, that's what Brahma does. He just based on the their karma activity, you would give the gross bodies to them, saying that, oh, you become animal, you become like that. But the shuttle body and the entire jiva in terms of pradhana, the pradhana is looked at by Karnadakshaya Vishnu, then it transformed to Mahatattva. And when Mahatattva works on the Kala, Karmas, Bhava, that's where Lord Shiva as well as Mother Nature comes into picture. And they work out for 1,000 years. Maya works on those living entities. Then finally, when Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters and they are ready to go, then Brahma, he creates the Brahma. When he creates a Brahma, that's what Prabhupada says, there is a flower bud, right? So I don't know which verse we saw, the previous verse, I guess. That's where in the form of lotus, so piercing through the sum and total of fruitive activity of the living entity, took the shape of bud of a lotus flower generated from personality of Vishnu. And by his supreme will, illuminated everything like the sun and dried up vast waters of devastation. So that's how the living entity would sprout. Now, there are three types of creation. We can summarize it. One is that Mahakalpa, another one is Vikalpa, another one is Kalpa. So what is that Kalpa? Every day Brahma creates this physical body required for the living entity who was ready to come out. They have shuttle body. They have defined the time has started. It is time for them to come out, and their desires are ready. So the karma. So Brahma is every day he would create the Kalpa, right? So in a Brahma, one Kalpa is like we all know 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. That is one cycle. Like that into 1,000 times is one Kalpa. That is 12 hours of Brahma. So one Kalpa is 12 hours, and the same time as 12 hours, you would sleep. So there are in a month, there are 30 days. You can see in this reference, Prabhupada gives what Brahma's different Kalpas. There are 30 Kalpas are there. Sveta Kalpa, Nila Lohita, Vamadeva, like that. So many kalpas are there, 30 kalpas are there. So this is the 30 days of Brahma. Similarly, 30 nights Brahma lives, that's 1 month. Then he lives for 100 years, like that. 1 year, then 1 year transform into 100 years. So every day Brahma, after partial dissolution happens, after 12 hours of Brahma, the entire living entity goes back into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. They will be all dormant state in Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So then they would come out from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu the next day when Brahma starts creating physical body gives. But the end of the Brahma's life cycle, then what happens is it's called Vikalpa. Then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu would create Brahma, right? That's the cooking of this, the 1,000 years of inactivity of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. That's where the living entities are Pradhana is seen. Pradhana is becoming Mahatattva, and that's the time where the Vikalpa happens. That's nothing but the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu comes and he would manifest Brahma for creation. But after that, in the day of Brahma, partial dissolution happens. All the living entity goes back to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, stomach in the partial expansion. But when the full type of creation happens, then it's called Mahakalpa. Mahakalpa is a period where the first Purushavatara, Karnodakshaya Vishnu comes, and from his pore, the so many universes comes out. This is Mahakalpa. That's where Mahavishnu from, he comes from this, as I mentioned, he comes from the Sankarshana, the second quadruple expansion of Sankarshana. Then he would come, then the entire universe comes. This is what is that? Sorry. This is called Mahakalpa. Then he looks into the Pradhan. Then the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters into the every universe. Then there is 1,000 years of time where this living entity has been combined with Kala, their Swabhava, as well as their karma. Then they manifest. Then Brahma comes out. That is called Vikalpa. Then every day Brahma, every day he creates some, and the living entities goes back again, merges into the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Then they take birth. Then the entire thing is, when Vikalpa is over, then the entire stuff goes into the Mahapurusha, the Mahapurusha's abdomen, and they all stay there. Then again, the Vishnu breathes in, breathes out. Again, they would create, and then the creation process takes after a long time. Like that. So these are the kalpas, which we can't even imagine the timelines of how the Brahma is been created and annihilated, and how Garbhodakshaya Vishnu comes into picture and things like that. So with this now, this you can understand from Brahma's lifetime, how Brahma is creating. The kalpa is defined here, and you can understand from this how this Divya is made into manvantras into kalpa. Then one day of a life of Brahma, how he lives. So what we'll do is, we have 10:20 now, 5 minutes, we'll quickly go through the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which would answer most of the questions. Then we'll come back to Prabhupada purport, and we will have an open discussion. And some of them I may not have answered. That's all homework for you. Okay. So now we will start from verse where Mahavishnu has been explained. Now we will discuss about more of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. I have thus explained the truth of first personality of Godhead, which is Mahavishnu. I shall now explain the glories of the second personality of Godhead. So this is about Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So after creating the total number of universe, which are unlimited, Mahavishnu expands himself into unlimited forms and enter into each of them, which we know that every universe from Mahavishnu pores, so many universe coming out, and every universe, the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters. When Mahavishnu enters each of the unlimited universe, he saw that there was a darkness all around and that there was no place to stay. He therefore began to consider the situation. So when he entered into this universe, then he's alone. So it entered everywhere darkness. Still Brahma is not yet born. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu alone is there. So now next, what happens? With the perspiration produced from his own body, the Lord filled half of the universe with water, and then they lay down on that water in the bed of Lord Shesha. So when we see this picture, okay, this is what happens. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters now. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is lying down on the bed. He was there. The water you see here, it is this perspiration. Garbhodaka, he fills half of the water. Then the stem grows up, and then you can see in the top of the stem, Brahma is there. So that's what the answer is. Now, another thing you need to understand is that when Brahma wants to create, he uses this stem as the material to create this universe. There could be 14 planetary systems, Satyaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, Makaraloka. So Brahma even doesn't have, the ingredients are there in this in the stem. So one time Brahma, as soon as he takes birth, he was looking at 4 directions. So he gets a 4 head, but he doesn't know where to find. So he goes through the stem at the bottom. It goes to the nabi of Vishnu, but still it's so huge. Vishnu is so huge, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. he could not able to understand. He comes back again. That's where he start meditating for thousands of years. Then Vishnu shakes hands with him and tell him to create, how to create. So this stem is the material ingredients for which ingredients in which the Brahma creates. Now, what happens is there could be other places you would have seen. I don't know. There is another diagram which I can show you. You don't see the stem. Only 14 planetary system will be there. So you need to understand. For example, here in this diagram, imagine the Vishnu. After what happens is after the creation happens, right? This Garbhodakshaya Vishnu doesn't stay here. He goes to the Dhruvaloka planet and goes and stays in the Dhruvaloka planet. These ingredients, you will not see Vishnu after creation in the Brahma aspect of it, because you will have Satyaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, Magaraloka. This all will be created using the ingredients of the stem, whatever it is there. Once it's created, you don't see this form. You don't see this kind of Mahavishnu lying on the ground. You will see the Anantasesha holding the entire planet. I don't know that diagram I have or not. So after this, I don't think so. I have the diagram. There will be another diagram where Anantasesha is holding. So now you can ask, if Anantasesha is holding at the bottom of the universe, where is he? Where is that Garbhodakshaya Vishnu? Where is the Anantasesha is doing? So this is before creation. Once the creation does, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu goes to the Dhruvaloka planet and he stays there. And then the 14 planetary system comes into picture. Then Anantasesha, at the bottom, he holds the hoods from his hoods, all the planetary system, this 14 planetary system. So this is before creation. After creation, you don't see this, the stems and Vishnu will not be there. So they all will be merged into particular form. Okay, that's one aspect where your Acharya. Now what happens is the lotus flower then sprouted from the lotus navel of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. That lotus flower become Lord Brahma's birthplace. This understood. So in the stem of the lotus flower, the 14 worlds are generated. So this is what I was telling. Using the ingredients of the stem, the 14 planetary system are generated. Then he became Lord Brahma and manifested the entire universe. Once this is manifested, then as I mentioned, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu goes to the Dhruvaloka planet. And in this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his form of Vishnu, manifests the entire material world. Since it is always beyond the material qualities, the material nature cannot touch him. Now, the Supreme Lord, in his form of Rudra, Lord Shiva, brings about the dissolution of the material creation. In other words, only by his will, their creation, manifestation, dissolution of the whole cosmic manifestation happens. So when we talked about Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are the incarnation of material qualities, creation, maintenance, and destruction. The three personalities are in charge. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, known within the universe as Hiranyagarbha. I was telling why Hiranyagarbha is called Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Hiranyagarbha is nothing but someone born of the entire Jiva living entity as a totality is there. For 1,000 years, with the help of Maya Devi, with Kala and our Subhava, individual Atma becomes, individual living, subtle form becomes. So that's why the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is called Hiranyagarbha. And the Antaryami, or the super soul for that planet, is glorified in the Vedic hymns, beginning with the hymns that starts with Sagastra Sirisha. Again, this Sagastra Sirisha refers to Mahavishnu as well as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu both. You might see in the shloka, the Sagastra Sirisha, Sagastra Purusha, there is a Vishnu, Brahma worships, he has 1,000 head, 1,000 hand. Since Mahavishnu expands into various universe, that's why he says various head. So many heads are there because there's so many universes coming out. He has so many hands because he operates, he enters into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu as a Garbhodakshaya Vishnu each universe. So where is that Vishnu? Is he different from Mahavishnu? So when he says Sagastra Purusha Vishnu, it refers to both Garbhodakshaya Vishnu as well as Mahavishnu. When we refer to Hiranyagarbha, it refers to the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. When we refer to Gunavataras, Brahma, Mahesha, Vishnu, that Vishnu refers to the Shirodakshaya Vishnu. So this is the understanding from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So the second personality of Godhead, known as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, is the master of each and every universe and shelter of the external energy. Nonetheless, he remains beyond touch of external energy. As I mentioned, when he doesn't touch the energies of the Maya, energy doesn't operate him. After that, he goes to Dhruva planet, which is a spiritual abode of the world. And the third expansion of Vishnu, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, who is the incarnation of quality of goodness, is to be counted in the both type of incarnation. Purusha avatars as well as Guna avatars. That's why I said Shirodakshaya Vishnu. When we say Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Guna avatars, then this Shirodakshaya Vishnu was referred. So this is the detailed description of Prabhupada gives dwell into more more to understand this. Now I would let us quickly, I have 2 minutes. Now let us quickly go through Prabhupada purports again, and we will quickly review. If there are any questions, you stop me, then we'll end the session probably 10:35. Okay, now anything highlighted now? Ananta, I talked about, I have already told. There is a Anantsesha who is holding the entire universe. He is also Jiva Tattva, is empowered Jiva Tattva, but the bed and other things which are Vishnu Tattvas as well. So there are few of them are Jiva Tattva as well in the Shaktivesha avatars. You can read Srila Prabhupada as well, as especially in the Chaitanya Charitamrita is explained in detail. So the Lord is eternally enjoying transcendental bliss. As I mentioned, in the when Mahavishnu, you don't see here a consort of Lord Vishnu, right? So Karanodakshaya Vishnu, he has the eternal consort called Rama Devi. So he was enjoying with Rama Devi. When he say Yoga Nidra, half closed, he is in the, like how Krishna does a Rasa Leela. For them, Mahavishnu, it is called Yoga Nidra, or which is in union with the internal potency, pleasure-giving potency, Rama Devi. So this Rama Devi transforms into, when he sees this vision, whatever you see that vision, that is Shambhu and Maya Devi. So this Rama Devi expands into Maya Devi, because Vishnu doesn't touch, because this Maya Devi is nothing but the shadow of the Rama Devi. She also wanted to enjoy with Vishnu. That's why she transforms, Rama Devi transforms into Maya Devi. Then the Shambhu touches the Shambhu Tattva is both Vishnu Tattva as well as Shiva Tattva, because before touching the Maya is Vishnu Tattva. Then when he touches becomes Vishnu Tattva. Then he glances through this material nature. From there, this Pradhana becomes Mahatattva. So that is the answer for this shloka, which Prabhupada explains. Now the 11th shloka, the water of dissolution, we talked about how Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from his perspiration, he creates those water in the Karnajal. Then he lies down, submerging all the living entities and the subtle bodies. Then the Kala comes into picture, which I have showed you here, how the Kala activates. Then it is manifested. After the three worlds, upper, lower, and middle planetary system merged into the water of dissolution, the living entities, all the three worlds maintain their subtle bodies by dint of energy called Kala. In this dissolution, the gross bodies becomes unmanifest, but the subtle bodies existed. So the gross bodies doesn't, in the dissolution happens when the day of Brahma, partial dissolution, everything goes into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. They don't have the gross body, but again, Brahma again gets up next day, it would create. But end of the life cycle of Brahma, everybody goes into the Mahavishnu's body. So that is the full dissolution of this material world. So there is a partial dissolution. There is a full dissolution. Prabhupada trying to explain here, but there are so much intricacies, so much details. And so during the full dissolution, everybody goes into the Mahavishnu. Again, Mahavishnu would expand into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, but during the partial expansion, still Garbhodakshaya Vishnu exists, and all of them will be there in the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Again, they would manifest again, these living entities. So the Lord lies down thousands of cycles of four yugas, his internal potency, by his external energy, appeared sleeping in the water. When the living entities were coming out for the further development of predictive activities, actuated by the energy called Kala Shakti, he saw his transcendental body is bluish. So this is where Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, seeing his body is bluish, where we talked about this thousands of years. The Maya is working on those Kala Shakti, then they activated. Then that's why Garbhodakshaya Vishnu sees the blue form of body. This all represents the mentality and sins aggregated by the living entity. Of course, somebody said Krishna is blue. That's why the sky is also blue. That's a reflection of Krishna's effulgence. That's the right answer. The subtle matter of creation on which Lord attention was fixed and was agitated by the material modes of passion. Thus, his subtle form of creation pierced through the abdomen. So I was mentioning this previous shloka, how modes of material nature being activated, and especially tamas, when it's activated, then there are various parts of the living entity comes into existence. then they are ready to come out of this Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's body. And 3.18.14, we talked about passing through this small total form of fruitive activity. The living entity took the shape of a bud of a lotus flower. This is where Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Then he activates in the bud 3 modes of material nature and other activities. That's why Brahma, once he takes birth, and he then creates the living entity. Without the 3 modes of material nature, he can't create. So in the bud, when blossoms lotus flower, that's where Supreme Will, he would invest the three modes of material nature. So in that universal lotus flower, Lord Vishnu personally entered as a super soul, and when it was thus impregnated with all the modes of material nature. This was I was talking in the lotus flower. It's impregnated with modes of material nature. The personality of Vedic wisdom, whom called the self-born, was generated. Then Brahma takes birth once the material nature is impregnated. That's why even Brahma is also under the modes of material nature. Even though his mode of goodness is Atipati, but sometimes they are also who are taken birth in this material world. Brahma, Bhavana, Loke. From everybody from Brahma to Ant, they are all under the modes of material nature. So when Vishnu wants to create a Brahma, then he would choose the most pious living entity among them. In the Garbha, I told you that this thousands of cycle happens, right? So then he would choose the living entity who are very, very pious. Then he makes them, gives them the post, the Brahma post. Then he would born in the novel of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So that's how the post filling is chosen during that time. He would choose the most pious person, like that the Indra and everybody is chosen because based on the karma activity, the what do you say? They have the good karma, the pious devotee who've been chosen to given this post. So this is literally you can say allocation of the portfolios by the Purusha that happens here. So that's how the self-born is born. The lotus flower is universal Virat form. I mentioned this through the stem. The 14 planetary system is there. That's a Virat Rupa. That will be dissolution after some time because Brahma uses those stems ingredients to create this universe. Then the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu goes to the Dhruvaloka. So it was become augmented by personality of Godhead Vishnu in his abdomen at the time of dissolution, and it becomes manifest the time of creation. This is due to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who enters into each universe of the form. So from this description, we have conception of 3, the Virat Rupa, the subtle Hiranyagarbha, and the material creative force, Brahma. So this is the 15 shloka. So I will open up now for any 1 or 2 comments, then we can wind up. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So actually today, one guest speaker had to come, but because of his throat problem, Prabhu has accepted this session. So within no time, Prabhu said that, no, I will take it. And Prabhu has taken it so nicely. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Now, Ras Rangini Mataji, do you have any question?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, yeah, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I just have one doubt on the Ananta Shesha, who is Balram's expansion. You told me the original one is the Vishnu Tattva. So the Ananta Shesha holding the lokas are Jiva Tattva, which means these are 2 different Ananta Sheshas.
Mataji, repeat again.
We were talking about Balram, Vishnu Tattva. Lakshmana also is a part of Balram. So the doubt I have is Ananta Shesha, you told is Jiva Tattva, right? That is Satya Avadi. So are they 2 different people or is it the same expansion?
See, now Prithu Maharaj is Satyavesha Avatara Vishnu, right? Is a Jiva Tattva empowered with the Vishnu. So how would you see in description of Prithu Maharaj? Similarly, there could be a personalities. Narada is a Jiva Tattva, who is empowered with the Bhakti Tattva, Bhakti Shakti. Like that. So in one sense, the empowered means Shaktavesha Avatar means they are empowered. Vishnu is empowered. So there is no difference between really it's Vishnu Tattvas, Ananta Shesha and Jiva Tattva, Ananta Shesha. Are there any difference? May not be, but certainly yes. Not only there is a Vishnu Tattva, there is also Jiva Tattva also given that kind of role. This is what I'm just trying to not role, but they can be empowered Shaktavesha Avatars as well.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
We don't generally differentiate, but yeah. It's also Jiva Tattva as well. Sometimes Prabhupada explains this.
Sure. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In Goloka chart, it is mentioned that the resting place for the earth is Lord Shesha. And again, for the Lord Ananta Shesha, is the resting place is this thing, great tortoise. And again, for the tortoise, the resting place is wind. And again, for the wind, the resting place is myself. So who is that myself, Prabhuji?
Where, which shloka you are referring to?
Not Shloka, Prabhuji. In Goloka chart, we see, Prabhuji, in Goloka chart. So Ananta Shesha is resting on, again, the great tortoise.
Where? Oh, it's not there in my diagram, but you are referring to some other diagram.
Yeah, it is mentioned here. The material universe, the cross section of showing that Kurma and all, Prabhuji, Ananta Shesha, Kurma. In that they have mentioned that Ananta Shesha is resting on Kurma, great Kurma, that is great tortoise. And again, it is resting on the wind. So it is mentioned. So I just wanted to know which who is myself here.
I think you need to give that reference. So I need to see. I'm not able to correlate what you're saying. Probably when I look at it, the image, then probably I'll be able to answer.
Hare Krishna.
Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I want to meet you in person. When and where?
I'm available Saturdays generally, Saturdays, Sundays.
Where, Prabhuji?
You can meet me in the temple, Prabhu. I'm in this South Bangalore.
South East. Okay, Prabhuji. I will come there.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. No, Prabhu, I don't think so. So we'll end the session over here. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanta ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you to all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dandavat
Hare
pranam to all.
Krishna.
Pranam Prabhuji, wonderful class.
Thank you, Prabhuji.